Here comes the tough one. Now what I'd like to talk about is the one that I rarely saw anybody really walk in the door with, but usually they walk out the door with it because it's so important. Cash flow statement.
Yeah.
What's a cash flow statement versus my balance sheet, which shows my equity, or my income statement, which shows my profit?
Yeah.
Where's cash flow statement?
So the statement of cash flows is critical. And I would say for entrepreneurs and those, that are starting a business or early on in business, it's the most critical. Because that statement of cash flow basically shows where all of your cash is going and where it's coming, right? So your sources. So money's going out because you're buying inventory, but it's coming in because you're collecting receivable, right? Or money's coming in because you got a bank loan and then you're spending it on marketing and other expenses. And so it really bridges the other two together, between the balance sheet being just a snapshot, a point in time of your assets and liabilities and your capital, and then your income statement being aggregate. How are you performing, right? You could have and we talked about this, you could have a very strong income statement, but your statement of cash flows can show a cash shortfall because of timing differences.
Yeah, I had a seasonal business, and with a lot of retailers, here comes Christmas, and you're making all your profit really in that fourth quarter. If you have the inventory on the shelves before the fourth quarter gets going. So the cash flow to make that happen, sometimes vendors would work with you and give you extended dating, but if they didn't and you still needed that inventory, you had to have that cash from somewhere before the revenue really started coming in that quarter. Cash flow statements, I've ended up learning, were one of my most important documents that I did not start with at all.
And you see a lot of young entrepreneurs who will include that in their business plan. So you'll see that on a month over month, not even just annually, but month over month. Here's how I'm going to stay in business as far as liquid on a month over month basis.
And we talked about possibly having 3 to 5 years of an income statement. A cash flow statement, is that done out into the future as much?
You could. I think that first year is critical because things change, right? Say your revenues accelerate and you're collecting, your cash position could be, so it's something you would monitor on a month over month basis. And I see some young entrepreneurs that'll do it on a week over week to start, right? Here we are in a week, and they'll have a meeting with whomever else they're involved with in the business and say, okay, here's our cash position, right? And you can chart and graph all of that today just using Excel. I mean, you just use Excel, you can go ahead and just create graphs and you can see the trend line. You can just insert, here's my cash position week over week, and you can see where it is. And you can use that to sort of predict what next month may look like.